Hey, this is Dave, just doing a quick update video on what we have going on here today and what we've been doing the last couple weeks. We have the house all painted. Justin's up doing those dormers. Let's see if we can get a shot of him up there. Say hi to YouTube, Justin.
Hi, YouTube.
He's up there caulking and doing all that. He finished that one and then he'll have to paint it, but I guess the main thing we've been doing, we got these lights cut in the soffits. And the best way to do that is we built a jig. This is how I think it's the best way. Actually, we built like a hole saw jig. So we still used a hole saw. And my recommendation is just use a battery drill. Don't use a more powerful drill because it will catch. And a pretty strong battery drill will do it without risk of injury, or it's just a little bit less intense. If you used a power drill, if it catches, you're in trouble. So we just made a jig that basically it's just like a square piece of plywood, and then we put 2 screws in it. We had to do a sacrificial hole. We tried to land it in the V, and then we just caulked a little brown caulk when we were done, because once the jig is up there and it's fixed, you can just drill right up through there. So we drilled it in, started it just to get the teeth grabbing. And then we basically just drilled small holes with a 3/4 inch spade bit. And what that does is it saves the teeth on your hole saw. So we just drilled all those in. It really wasn't too bad. Once we kind of started spacing it out, they all just kind of seemed to make sense where they go. I thought about that stuff for a couple weeks. Like, how am I going to lay it all out? But it ended up working out. Then you need, there's lots of videos on it from what I understand. I usually always overvent stuff, so that's why I don't really know exactly the math, but I mean, you can figure it out. It's just that when you have weird roof shapes, sometimes it's just difficult to get the square footage. So you just figured out it's 150, for every 150 square feet of roof, you need one square foot of vent. The vents are 8 by 16, but you don't multiply 8 by 16 because you have all the metal. So you basically, it'll say right on the vent, these are 50 square inches. So it's 0.5 square foot. And you just, the 150 square inch, the rule of 150 square feet of roof, 1 square foot of vent, that also includes the vent on the ridge or pods or anything you're using. So it's really not too bad. We overvented mostly, but you can see the vents also, that was a huge job. The vents were a nightmare. It was a job that we dreaded for a long time. We were wondering, like, what do we use? Do you just use a sawzall? We have like lookout blocks that run horizontally that you would hit. We were like, do we use a jigsaw upside down? Do we use a sawzall? Do we use a sawzall jig and then fine tool where the lookout blocks are? What we ended up doing is we built a jig and we just routed it. Upside down router with a base bearing. That means that here's the router, then the bearing, then the end bit. And what we did is we just drilled a 3/4 inch paddle, like anywhere you want, drill it up there, and then put the router in before you start it. Because if you start it and then try to find that hole, it nicks it and it's pretty violent. So you just have to just drill the hole, put the thing in, have somebody plug you in with the router already on. We just got good at just flicking it on, and then you just go for it. Router all of those. Then you can see that if you do that, some of those soffit pieces would lose integrity, even though you have the tongue and groove on each side. Now it doesn't run all the way through. So then we put reinforcing 2x2s across, clamped it, glued it, and just shot it in with the pin nailer. And it's super strong. Even after we cut it, even the pieces that were weakened, they were still really strong. But I just look at it over time, gravity would probably start winning on that. And then to make matters worse, you have to make sure that you caulk it all. So after we got them all in, then we had to drive the lift around and just put clear caulk around the lights and the vents. And the reason for that is for bugs and mostly bees, because the bees will get in there and it's a perfect home, and it's a big hollow cavity in there. And even after caulking all that, I'm going to still have problems with bees in the future. I just know I will. So it's one of those things we might have to go around every year in the spring, spray some type of whatever. But I'm so glad to get that done. That was a gigantic job. Getting this painted getting the lights in, getting those vents in, took me May, June, July, August, September. And a lot of people, oh wow, really? It took you 5? Yeah, it's a huge house, tons of caulking, tons of planning, getting all of these cut in. Oh, and not to mention wiring it all. And then including in this, you might not see it. Let me show you. We actually put in Christmas lights that will be on a timer, soffit GFIs. So there's one, there's one. We have them strategically placed. We ended up with, I believe, 9 of them. Let me just show you, and I'll just go in here since we're talking about that. And then, I mean, you know, I say 5 months. Maybe when I was in my 20s, this would have been done in like 3 months, but, you know, I'm kind of enjoying my weekends too now. Slowing down a little bit, but I'm actually working on this today. All the soffit plugs or Christmas outlets. Each one is its own circuit. The reason why we did that, you know, I don't know if there's incandescent stuff out there. I don't know what the people who, I'm never going to be up here putting Christmas lights. I can tell you that right now. If I have Christmas lights on this house, it's going to be hired done by a crew, and then they can come and get them. I'm not hanging anything like that. But obviously we have LED Christmas lights now, but there's also incandescents. I didn't have a chance to really look into it because we just kind of had the lift and we had to start putting them in. There's also a thing of like daisy chaining outlets. At most, you're probably going to want a daisy chain just one. So I just looked at it like this. These 2 panels over here in particular down below still have a ton of spaces that can be taken up. And the way that these outlets worked, it just seemed like it's just easier just to run and just have one dedicated, just going to the one plug. Then you only have one wire in each box. We use the deep cut in boxes, but it just makes it easier. The GFIs, if one trips, then that's the plug that's bad. You know, then it's like you don't have to troubleshoot and go around with ladders trying to figure out what, one trip. Obviously, I guess I could write down which plugs are slaved off of the GFI, and then I would know which one the GFIs are. But down the road, I'd probably forget that. So I'm just explaining kind of like my way of thinking on that stuff. And so this was all. We just ran the wires loose, and we said, hey, let's come in later and staple it because I'm renting a lift and it basically costs like, $75 to $85 a day. And that got picked up yesterday. So I'm glad we're done with that. And then I just drilled a big 1.25 hole, and we have 5 wires here. So that's 5 circuits. And this stuff is the most exciting stuff. But I also have Rob, the well guy, here right now. I'll go out there and kind of just film. I told him I might be filming him. I told him, don't worry, there's not going to be any interviews or anything. He's a guy that my Uncle Chuck had his dad drilling a lot of wells when my Uncle Chuck was in his prime building houses. Where is the other? I thought I put oh yeah, I don't know. We have oh yeah, there's an outlet over there in that corner down. That one looks like Justin already stapled that, so that's cool. And then the idea is that one would catch all the way around this soffit. And I believe I might have put a corner one in here, which it seems like that's the case. Yeah, it's the one that's the yellow stapled across over there. I should know that because I actually stapled that today, but I'm like, oh, whatever. I see a loose wire, I just staple it. And then you can see they just all jump in together right there and go that way. And then we have some down the road, down this way, but I'll go out here. Old man winter's coming, and of course, my rental house area, they always want us to fix stuff, so we're gonna be pulling off this once this is done. Once he's done digging the well. Luke, say hi. YouTube. Hold on, he's right there. I don't know if they'll allow you on YouTube. I'm gonna have to I might get red tagged just for, I don't want my channel. Look at this guy, psychopath. Look at that guy. He's not gonna be able to put me on. You're gonna get me kicked off my channel. Look, he doesn't even say anything. He's gonna kick me off. Jeez. Then let's see, Luke. What work did we do out here? I forgot. Weren't we doing a lot of work out here? Oh yeah. Oh well, we did the camera wires too. Geez, I hope see that wire I can't even see it. Hopefully the video does it, but That's a Cat 6A wire that can just be pulled out about 2 feet. We have it kind of set up like a spring. I don't know when I'm gonna get to the cameras, but it's probably gonna be when I'm living here. So it's gonna be down the road a little bit. So I just wrapped it with tape, and then when we're ready, we'll just pull it out. And that, like I said in a previous video, PoE just stands for Power over Ethernet, which means that not only is that gonna, the Ethernet cable is data, but this has the capability of actually powering the camera too. That way you don't have to worry about batteries or a weakened Wi-Fi signal. Having a camera for over the PoE power is it's superior just because it tends to get a better picture. You can have higher quality cameras. So we have like one there, one there. We're gonna have one in this box here. And the camera, it seems a little bit weird to have cameras inside your house, but my wife wants them and I kind of want them too. They're not gonna be pointing to anywhere where, like if there's guests over, they're not gonna be pointing like on the couch in the great room. They're just pointing towards areas of entrance. Oh, but back to the well guy. I'll go out here and it's gonna be noisy. I'll just kind of show you. I won't talk much, but this is Rob, the guy's son. So this is Rob Jr. He's been drilling wells now for a long time too. I'll just sneak up on him. But here it is. He's hit bedrock. He's already down about 180 feet. I think more than that. And now he's gonna drill down about 80 feet into the solid stone to get me some really good water. So he's getting it done. So what's going on? Down and dirty. It's kind of fitting for a well company, I guess. It's got a nice rig going. And wells are super cool. They're just super cool the way they do it. He told me yesterday that it's a blind man's trade because they do a lot of the stuff by feel to where they are. They go by the records, the local records of other wells. And this is his water truck. He just drove his rig in through the back, but I just feel like a creeper filming him, but you know, that's his rig. He's getting it knocked out, man. He's a hard worker. But what was I gonna say? Oh, he told me that, so when they circulate the water, you can see like that black pipe that goes around back into his truck. He circulates the water through the truck, and then he can see how much water is actually coming out of the well based upon how much water he's losing in the ground. So he told me, like, if it takes water, that means it'll give water. And that means that when you hit water, the water he's pumping in there is higher pressured than the water coming in from the veins. And so it actually starts seeping in and pushing the well water back into the aquifer. And I guess the more water you lose, the better water you'll get. And it kind of does make sense. It's kind of cool. I didn't know that, but you know, I kind of watch videos, so I kind of understand like the head level, static level, gallons per minute. He's actually going to be the one. I'm going to be getting a tank. I'm going to be wiring it. So he's cool because some of these companies, they want to do the whole 9 yards. They want that 25 grand. And Rob's coming in much less than that. And he's like, look, I can just drill your well and that's it. You can put your motor in down in the well if you want. You can put your pitless adapter in, any of it. He goes, I'll just drill your well. And I said, you know what? I'd rather you at least just get the motor down and get the line down there, because, you know, I'm not getting all into that. I have too many things to do, but it is kind of cool. I'm going to sneak in here. Anyone that sees this video that's local in Michigan, his name's Rob, and it's S. Ward and Sons Incorporated, 248-625-1955. He's a really good guy. It's just he's working hard right now, and I don't want to go bothering him. So anyways, yeah, that's what we've got going on. We're going to be getting into, we've done some low voltage, like I said, the cameras. We're going to be doing Wi-Fi access points. Like, so this is Wi-Fi. I know it sounds crazy, but I was kind of going back and forth whether I should have a TV in the garage. And of course, Luke's like, oh yeah, you got to have a TV in the garage. You could be working on something Might need to, you know, look up a YouTube video on something, you know, I don't know how to work on these brakes or whatever, and you can have a TV here. Worst case scenario, you know, TV and data. Worst case scenario, you don't use it, so you just put a couple blank covers on there, and then you can even hang a picture on it. But kind of makes sense while the walls are open, might as well, and it reminds me I have to trim that out. But we're gonna be running data wire, and I'm gonna do another video on that. We're already at 15 minutes. I will do more on the home network system, and there's tons of videos out there, and I'll try the best. Oh, one thing that you don't find clearly is, one question is real quick on the data. For cameras, what type of roughen box do you use? I was thinking about you could just put a 2x4 and run the wire through the hole and then drywall, and then you just mount the camera right to the drywall. You can do that. But they say the best way, just put just a round 4-inch nail-on box, and that'll grab most cameras. So that's it. So I'll just keep doing these videos. I think I have one video I did that I didn't upload yet, and I can't even remember what it's about, but I'll get these up and I'll keep them coming. All right, Dave signing off.